We off to a little bit of a late start today, but we here. We active. You know what I'm saying? I had a slow start. I had to do a couple of things for TYT. I had to send in some videos, but you know what I'm saying? I was just a little out of it this morning, but we back. You know what I'm saying? We here and we live, and regardless of the fact, you know what I'm saying? The show must go on. Now, I hope that Queen Fritza does show her face in here. I hope that she does come in here and you know, bless us with her beautiful presence. Oh, yes, it is Ryan's birthday today as well. I remember he did say that. Indeed, we got a couple of birthdays today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, had to do a couple of things for TYT earlier, and I ain't gonna lie to you. When I woke up this morning, I've been up, staying up too damn late, so that's some of it too. I need to go to bed earlier, but I was just a little bit out of it today. But we here, we live, we ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And we got quite a bit of stuff to cover. We got quite a bit of things that we gonna cover today, even though we late. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and take a quick little hit. We gonna take a quick little hit. We gonna talk about Bob Menendez today. You know, he went up there and he pleaded not guilty. You know what I'm saying? Of course, my man's is not guilty, even though he got found with all of that stuff. You feel me? Even though my man's got found with gold bars, he got found with wads of cash. You know, he just likes to carry it around and feel on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It feels good to the brother. I like to rub on my cash. I like to rub on these gold bars. It makes me feel like I'm somebody. I guess that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? Or perhaps he just is not a fan of the banks. But then again, you know, he's a little too sophisticated to call for that. But you know, we gonna look into some Bob Menendez. We gonna look into Donald Trump, of course, because how can we not look into Donald Trump? And you know, who would have thought he overvalued his wealth? So he's losing his mind about that. His sons went online, they losing their minds about that. So that's what we gonna do. And you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, we gonna have to limit the type of music that we play in the background because it seems like YouTube, it seems like the algorithm has improved upon itself. You know what I'm saying? I played some Phil Collins yesterday, and before that, I played some Warren G. You know what I'm saying? I played that yesterday, and YouTube was like, "Psych." They was like, "No, sir. We here late." You know what I'm saying? We may have a little bit less people here today because I started late. We got the damage report going on right now, I know. But it's all good. We still going to have us a show. And we're going to have an episode of Block Talk later this evening. It's going to be a very good discussion. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to talk about humility. We're going to talk about growth. We're going to talk about the painful realizations that we can realize or that we can have about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. We got Libby in the building. Thank you, Libby, for sending me those resources yesterday. We're going to have our first members meeting next Sunday. So cheers to everybody who's able to make it. Thank you for coming. Dreaded Prophet and Mike Nice. Hello. Yeah, like I said, we off to a little bit of a late start today, but we still going. You know what I'm saying? We still got to do it. So cheers to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yes, brother Dreaded Prophet. I'm looking forward to tonight's episode of Lock Talk. I think it's going to be a really good discussion. It's going to be a vulnerable discussion too, because I'm going to be talking a lot about myself. I'm going to be talking a lot about myself and my shortcomings and, you know, how I've dealt with my life and some of the things that I've learned, you know, the mistakes that I've made, you know what I'm saying? And what I've learned from them, ways of being, You know what I'm saying? So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a great discussion. But let's go ahead and start this thing off. You know what I'm saying? We're going to start this thing off with Mr. Bob Menendez, you know what I'm saying? Who, of course, well, if it ever shows itself, I don't. There we go. There we go. Just took it a sec. Woo! All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Oh, good morning, Lady Punch T. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Lady Punch T, yes, indeed. Good morning to you as well. Oh, your dreads looking fresher than mine. I mean, I gotta get my man. Listen, Lady Punch, my hair is a mess right now. Let me tell you something right now. I know it don't look too bad, but I need to go to the barbershop and I need to have Shauna who does my hair. I need to have her do her thing. You feel me? I'm a little bit of a mess right now, but it's all good. Fritza, Queen Fritza, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yes, indeed. You are such a loved and important member, not only of this community, but of the world community, of the human community. We need more people like you out here. Look, listen, it's been several times, you know what I'm saying, when Fritza has been like, Jackson, calm down, brother. Relax. Take a chill pill. And she be right. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, yeah, you know, I am doing a little much right now. You know, I should take a look at myself. You feel me? So cheers to you, Fritza, for being who you are. Cheers to you for being so supportive. And you quite literally and tangibly have already helped to make me a better person. So thank you so much for being who you are. Now, let's take one more hit in honor of Fritza. And let's go ahead and get into it. Yes. Now let's talk about Mr. Menendez, and then we're gonna get into everything else because we got quite a bit of stuff to cover today. Even though we got going a little bit late, better late than never. You know what I mean? All right, now here we go. Senator Bob Menendez pleads not guilty in federal court to bribery and extortion. I mean, honestly, I can't really blame him for pleading not guilty because who wants to go to jail? But at the same time, he definitely should drop out because it'll just help the Democrats. It'll really help them right now as their main opponent is Donald Trump, who has 8 million charges against him. So it'll be good for the Democratic Party and the country if Menendez steps down.
Now to Senator Bob Menendez, the New Jersey Democrat is defiant. As he faces federal corruption charges now for the second.
I may have to read this if this is maybe slow.
Menendez is refusing to step down even as members.
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and read this because it looks like this is.
Members of his own party say he should. Pierre Thomas joins us now live from Washington with the very latest. Good morning, Pierre.
Leslie, good morning. Federal prosecutors believe the case against Menendez is gripping and compelling. But the senator who has faced indictment on corruption charges before and successfully defended himself is pushing back despite growing calls for him to resign.
This morning, Senator Bob Menendez fighting for his political life, facing a multi-count indictment accusing him of brazen corruption.
As I have stated throughout this whole process, I firmly believe that when all the facts are presented, not only will I be exonerated, but I still will be the New Jersey's senior senator.
In a dramatic Monday press conference, he said he's innocent and urged the public not to jump to conclusions about those damaging images of wads of cash stuffed in a jacket embroidered with his name, gold bars, and the new Mercedes.
For 30 years, I have withdrawn thousands of dollars in cash from my personal savings account, which I have kept for emergencies and because of the history of my family facing confiscation in Cuba.
But the senator did not address how he got that new car and why he suddenly had gold bars after a trip to Egypt. Menendez, who was the powerful chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee before he was indicted and forced to step down, is charged with selling state secrets to the Egyptian government.
Senator Menendez allegedly provided sensitive, non-public U.S. government information to Egyptian officials and otherwise took steps to secretly aid the government of Egypt.
The senator, whose wife Nadine was charged as well, is also accused of taking bribes to help two New Jersey businessmen fend off criminal investigations. Even Democrats openly criticizing him, some calling on him to leave the Senate.
The situation is quite unfortunate, but I do believe that it is in the best interests for Senator Menendez to resign in this moment.
The political forecast is challenging. New Jersey Democratic governor, members of Congress from his own state, and 3 Senate colleagues now calling for Menendez to step down. He says he's not going anywhere. Michael?
And definitely a lot of pressure on him there, Pierre. Thank you for that.
We're going to turn now to Senator Bob.
I think he'll likely end up stepping down because there's going to be a lot of pressure. I mean, you got Nancy Pelosi saying that you should step down. In terms of Democratic authority, it really doesn't get much higher than that. So yeah, I'd expect that he'll step down because, again, at the end of the day, it's like even if you beat this in court, it's just unnecessary baggage for the Democratic Party right now, especially given the fact that Biden is going against Donald Trump right now, who is incredibly fraudulent and corrupt and has all these charges against him. So just come on, man. Go ahead and drop out. Don't make this all about you. Now, I never really looked that deeply into this, but American soldier who crossed into North Korea in U.S. custody. An American soldier who crossed into North Korea in July is now in U.S. custody, a U.S. official confirmed Wednesday. We can confirm that U.S. officials have secured the return of Private King and departed PRC airspace en route to a U.S. military base, a senior administration official said in a statement. North Korea announced earlier Wednesday that it planned to expel the soldier, Travis King. Authorities said King had admitted to entering the country illegally. The report did not state when or where King, a 23-year-old Army private, would be expelled. The U.S. Department of Defense told Axios Wednesday that it had, quote, nothing to provide at this time regarding the matter. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin confirmed in July that a U.S. soldier was believed to be in North Korean custody after crossing into the country willfully and without authorization. The soldier had been on a civilian tour of the joint security area that straddles the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. Senior administration officials confirmed Wednesday that King's transfer out of North Korea was the culmination of a month-long effort by the U.S. government. Man, he's lucky he's getting out because, man, North Korea is crazy. They crazy. King was in good health and good spirits today, they said. Well, again, that's good because North Korea is not a place you want to be. Sweden, as the protecting power for the U.S. and North Korea, was the United States' primary interlocutor in the matter. Swedish officials entered North Korea and transferred King to China, where the U.S. government received him. Nice. Yeah, man. I mean, he's only 23 as well, so I'm sure that this has been quite a traumatic experience for him. Yeah, that's what I mean. From what it said he just went in there voluntarily. So again, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if I don't know, but we got Aztec Dragon in the building. Hello. Yes, everybody. Keep on wishing Queen Fritza. Punch and rhyme. Trucking. Oh, I see. Fucking rhymes. Okay, I see. I see what you're saying. Yeah. All right, here we go. On to the next. But yeah, I don't know exactly what made him. I don't know. From what I could tell, because again, I didn't look that deeply into that when it first happened, just because there's so much going on. But oh, that's what happened, LV. So you said he was being deported to the USA. Oh, well, I mean, damn. Well, again, like I said, I don't really I didn't really know what happened, but if that's what so he assaulted 2 women in North Korea and then tried to escape. That brother was not thinking at all. If he was not thinking. Damn. He was in a panic if you run into North Korea trying to be safe. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for him to be back into society. God damn. All right, let's go. We got like a million Trump meltdowns, so let's go ahead and do the first one today. Damn, I don't know. Yeah, he was just panicking because disciplinary charges in America are almost certainly more preferable than disciplinary charges in North Korea. Well, damn. Sheesh. All right. Of course, this is not America because I have to face the consequences of my actions. I have to I have to be held accountable for the million crimes I've committed. This isn't America. He's just such a ridiculous pig, man. I mean, look at this dude. Look at him, man. He looks as ridiculous as he is. The orange face, the toupee. I mean, he's just 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Let's see. You never heard me say fuck before, Christina? That's surprising because I say fuck I say that many times a day. I say motherfucker more than fuck probably, but I think you think that you haven't heard me say fuck before because you're so used to hearing me say it. I think that that's what's going on right now. Okay, let's see. He suffered a major melt. He's been going through a meltdown for months now. Well, year. His whole life he's been going through a meltdown. And of course, I'm sure he put these out at like 4 in the morning. So let's just go ahead and get straight down to it. Let's get straight down to it. Hold on. I was trying to see if there was a timestamp, but there's a bunch of Trump tweets we're gonna go over, but I have to see the timestamp. Okay, here we go. I haven't been fair. What did he say? I have been unfairly sued by the Trump-hating Democrat Attorney General of New York State, Letitia James, over the false fact that I inflated my financial statements in order to borrow money from banks, etc. etc. Borrow money from banks and from you and from Paul and from John and from everybody else, and I ain't never gonna pay none of you motherfuckers back because that's how Trump does it. That's how Trump does it. He over there talking to Russia. You know, I want to go to Oregon, Fritza. That's oh yeah, Christine. I don't know where you been. I want to go to Oregon. I definitely want to go to Oregon. The judge in the case, Arthur F. Ingorin, refused to allow this case to go to the commercial division where it belongs because he is a Trump hater beyond even A.G. James, who campaigned against me spewing horrible inflammatory statements which are false and defamatory. The former president continued. I am not even allowed a jury. The facts of this case are simple. Okay, here we go. Boom. He's not done. Now he's yelling. You know, now he's yelling. I am worth much more than the numbers shown on my financial statements. I didn't even include my most valuable asset, my brand. Oh, okay, Trump. The banks were paid back in full, sometimes early. There were no defaults. The banks made money. We're represented by the best law firms and we're very happy. There were no victims. I mean, it's just like he says that he didn't do things that we can just look up the records for. Like, bro, like everyone who's even halfway objective about you. Everyone who's halfway objective about you knows you don't be paying people. On the front page of the financial statements, there's a strong disclaimer clause telling all not to rely on the financial statements, he went on,
The disclaimer clause tells anyone reviewing the data, including financial institutions, to do their own research and analysis. It is a non-reliance clause and could not be more clear.
Okay, well, even if that was the truth, how does that help you? Why can't you just give your real numbers to people? So basically, you just said. So basically, he just said, um, right. His supporters won't look him up. They just lies. But this dude basically just said, "Look, listen. I'm aware that the numbers are looking a little off. They're looking a little strange, a little different. However, these aren't the real numbers. Like, then why did you put them there? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no good way to spin this. There's just not. And he knows it, but he's Donald Trump, so he's just gonna keep on being the most ridiculous person on the planet. Okay, no, 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 no. Now we got a whole lot more of this. Hold on, let me see which ones, because see which ones we should do. Because we have a whole lot to pull up in terms of Donald Trump potentially being able to lose his right to do business in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that. So let's see. God. Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. He put one of these tweets out. We're not going to read all these tweets just because it's too damn long. But he put some of these out at normal people hours. Let's see. Which one am I on right now? Like, look, see, he put these ones out at during normal people hours. Yeah, look, I mean, bro, look at this. All this. Yeah, he definitely on that text. I mean, talk to text. Continued. He couldn't finish it. Continued. September 25th at 11:58 in the morning. See, again, that's a bit more of a normal people hours at least. That's really now oftentimes like that's all I want to know. That's all I want to see. I want to see, okay, what time did he put these truths out? What time did he put these posts out? Because again, it's always like it's some ungodly time. And then he more at 12:31. It took him a little bit of time to get that one out. It took him see, he wrote this one and it took him, what is that? 33 minutes. It took him 33 minutes to type out the rest of this. Yeah, chilling 2DA. That's why I'm saying he lucky he alive, and he was in a full blown panic to run over there. 'Cause I'm like, sheesh, it ain't looking good for you no matter where you at, is it? Now, okay, so we already read some of this. The disclaimer clause tells anyone and could not be more clear. Additionally to my being worth far more than is shown, I'm worth far more than is shown in the fully disclaimed financial statements. Again, not putting down a value for my biggest asset. But does this sound like somebody who's actually worth it, or does this sound like somebody who's really embarrassed and lying? The latter, of course, because that's Donald Trump's life. I mean, like, this is just so unconvincing because it's like, if you really had money like this, what's the need for you to sit up here and defend it like this? Like, who cares, bro? Especially people your age. You know, like for instance, like if you look at the business magnates or the billionaires that everybody's familiar with, like Warren Buffett, Zuckerberg, um, you know, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, their net worth is not in question because they created companies that contribute a lot of value to the world, despite the fact that, we have monopoly problems. There's a lot of issues with how they're ran. The difference between someone like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates and Donald Trump is they actually created entities that people use, that people need, that really contribute to society. Donald Trump has not created anything like that. And whatever he's done in real estate, it's like, okay, cool, whatever. But most of that is your dad. Most of that shit came from your dad. And And he, you know, like whenever Mark Zuckerberg's net worth goes down by like, oh, I woke up $100 billion worth $100 billion less today. He doesn't talk about it because nobody cares, and because he's rich, is because he's really a multi-billionaire. What difference does it make if he's worth $130 billion or just a measly 60 billion? You know, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna make ends meet with only $60 billion. You feel me? But it's like they don't do this, and it's like he cares so much about this shit. And the 30 minutes between this post and this one, like this is like all that's in his brain. Like he's one of the most insecure people anyone's ever seen. Like he's so insecure. And he's 77 years old. Like, bro, this dude is pathetic, man. Like Donald Trump is honestly one of the most pathetic people I've ever seen in my life. It's unbelievable how pathetic he is. I wish his dad could come back to life and just get like a recap on everything that you know what I'm saying? Exactly, LV. That's the thing. You feel me? It's like these people make money hand over fist. They really got it. And again, there's so much criticism to give to that, but they got it. So they not online like, oh, I'm worth way more than it looks like. You know, it's just he's so ridiculous, man. He's so ridiculous. Okay, we gonna save a little bit of some of that for later. You're at 13%. He's at 50%. Laura Ingraham asked DeSantis his plan to overcome brutal numbers against Trump. They just roasting him.
Now, Governor, the latest CBS poll out of New Hampshire shows that you're in second, albeit a distant second behind Trump. You're at 13%. He's at 50%. Similar numbers. You have more like 21%, I think, in Iowa. How do you go from number 2 to number 1, given Trump's huge lead in the polls?
52 wonderful, amazing years. I mean, happy birthday, Fritza. Fritz is so damn. She just cool as hell, man. Fritz is just wonderful. You're a wonderful person. And I hope you get 52 more years. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep on living. Let's keep on doing our best. Let's keep on pushing forward. Let's make the world a better place with the time that we have.
Well, Laura, this is our time for choosing. We're not going to get a mulligan on the 2024 election. We've had 3 straight election cycles in a row where Democrats have a playbook to beat Republicans. And if we repeat that same playbook in 24, we're going to lose. We were supposed to have a big red wave in 2022. I thought your monologue was excellent outlining the problems, but all those problems were there in November of 2022. Republicans should have capitalized on that by winning a huge red wave. And that did not happen. Voters chose Democrats over some of our candidates, except in Florida. In Florida, we delivered a historic re-election victory, and that's because we delivered on our promises. So as you look forward, the time for talking is over. I look at the border situation. I look at the budget situation. These are issues that Republicans have been talking about for decades, and yet they still persist. I'm the only guy running that can say, everything I promised my voters I would do, I delivered on 100% of the promises. So yes, I will beat Biden.
But a lot of people ain't feeling the things that you did deliver on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's reality. A whole lot of these people ain't feeling it, especially when it comes to stuff like you know what he's doing with the migrant workers. What was it? 87% of Aaron, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. And you, man, YouTube, either somebody got to snatch it or somebody, or YouTube's just going to randomly gift it to somebody. But I hope that it works because, man, YouTube's gifting stuff is, it's like so random and complicated. But thank you so much for the gifted sub. Hold on, but where was we at? Oh, yeah, like, 87% of the agricultural workers in Florida are undocumented migrants. And he's like, get out. He's like, leave. We don't need agriculture.
But even more importantly than that, I'm the guy that will actually deliver 100% of the results that we need to turn this country around.
Somebody got the membership? G, brother G. Now we got G in the building. And G, he sent me, he's been sending me some resources. Thank you for the other list that you sent me. I'm compiling everything so that we can really do it. You know what I'm saying? But thank you, Aaron, for the gifted sub. And welcome to the clan of heroes, brother G. Yes, now DeSantis is doing so poorly that Trump isn't even thinking about him anymore. Trump ain't even talking about this dude no more. Oh, and yes, they have the debates tonight, of course, but all right. Now, apparently a Fox News reporter went to Seattle and tried to paint the city as this horrible, terrible place. And I don't think it would. That's not a thing that happens. Fox News reporter humiliated by Seattle residents during segment pushing crime concerns.
Jesse sent Johnny to the progressive hellscape where residents mocked the idea that the city is spiraling out of control.
I've never seen any crime in Seattle. I've never seen any of it. I've seen fun and laughter and fun.
I don't believe that number.
People, they're, getting robbed out here, carjacked.
I've never heard of anyone getting robbed.
Crime is a social issue that could be solved by giving people their basic needs.
It's not a thing that happens just on the street. People don't just come up and try to rob people on the street.
Like, Seattle's this horrible place filled with liberals who want the government to do what it's supposed to do.
Do you walk around every day like someone's going to rob me every second?
Seattle decriminalized drug use, and then they criminalize it again.
Oh, my God. Who are you getting these facts from? You're from New York. Apparently, you're listening to the wrong people.
I saw a lot of people shooting up on my way down here.
Oh, did you? Okay. And they were bothering you?
I was criminalized it again.
Yo, he doesn't know what to say because he's just getting like. And again, clearly these people are politically aware. You know what I mean?
Decriminalized drug use, and then they criminalize it again.
Oh, my God. Who are you getting these facts from? You're from New York. Apparently, you're listening to the wrong people.
I saw a lot of people shooting up on my way down here.
And again, it's just so like, bro, people do drugs everywhere, man. People do drugs. I do. We do drugs on the stream together. People do drugs all over the place. If you had some coffee today, you do drugs. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if you want to associate yourself with that fact. But look, listen, people do drugs. And I know you're talking about hard drugs, but people do hard drugs all over the place too. You feel me? Like it don't matter what city you go to, what if it's a big city or some Hicksville trailer park. People do drugs. When people go through hard times, people try to cope. You feel me? So it's like, oh, let's go to Seattle, this horrible like, man, y'all could have did that in y'all backyard. They could have did this in their own city. You didn't have to send people to Seattle for this.
Oh, did you? Okay. And they were bothering you?
I was in a car, but people.
Oh no, you're in a car. Oh no, they were hurting you so bad. Oh no.
Yo, this is hilarious. This is hilarious.
Jesse sent Johnny to the progressive hellscape where residents mocked the idea that
that boy Mick had to let everybody know this ain't no ordinary pool that I'm next to. You know what I'm saying? This pool does things for you. This pool can soothe you in ways that normal chlorine water simply cannot. Yes, chugs drugs. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. But yeah, man, this shit is ridiculous. But this was one of the best things I've ever seen.
That the city is spiraling out of control.
I've never seen any crime in Seattle.
LV. Indeed. Addiction to things that we believe will deliver us from our sorrow. Or things that just make us feel good. Indeed it is. Thank you for pointing that out.
I've never seen any of it. I've seen fun and laughter and fun.
I don't believe that number.
people. They're, getting robbed out here, carjacked.
I've never heard of anyone getting robbed.
Crime is a social issue
Not
that
no
can
regular
be solved by
water.
giving people their basic needs.
It's not a thing that happens just on the street. People don't just come up and try to rob people on the street. Do you walk around every day like someone's going to rob me every second?
Seattle decriminalized drug use, and then they criminalized it.
Look, listen, I was born and raised in one of the most crime-ridden cities in the country, but that's you still have to go there. You feel me? Like, hey, that doesn't mean that, oh, that's all that's there. That's all that's happening. Nothing happens but crime. Like, nah, bro, it's actually pretty easy to avoid it once you're out of it. You feel me? Now, when you're growing up and stuff, like, you don't really have much of a choice, but it's like, oh, everywhere you look, people are just getting robbed. Like, if I went to St. Louis, I would have to go places where I know St. Louis like the back of my hand. I grew up there. You know what I'm saying? But, I know where I shouldn't go for no reason. Like, I would have to just go to certain neighborhoods and just walk around for no reason. I'm just going to go here and just walk around. Yeah, I would get robbed if I did that. But if I don't do that, then I'm probably not going to get robbed in St. Louis. You feel me? So it's like, but again, you could have went to St. Louis and did that, because at least shit goes down in St. Louis. You in Seattle. You are in Seattle. This is one of the most progressive, liberal places in the country. Like, come on, man.
It again.
Oh my God, who are you getting these facts from? You're from New York. Apparently you're listening to the wrong people.
I saw a lot of people shooting up on my way down here.
Oh, did you? Okay. And they were bothering you?
I was in a car, but people.
Oh no, you're in a car. Oh no, they were hurting you so bad. Oh no.
Oh my God. Oh, knowing better. Yo, I don't know if y'all know if y'all have seen any of Knowing Better's videos. I haven't watched anything from him in a while, but he makes good stuff. Like he makes Knowing Better. He's a teacher, but he makes videos where he just kind of breaks a lot of stuff down. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't know why they would air this. This does look stupid. I mean, maybe they put it out because they thought that it would make liberals and progressives look delusional or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Right. They was, because it's like, bro, you in Seattle. You could have went so many other places that are known for crime. Seattle's not known for crime, bro. You could have went anywhere. Again, it's the same thing like Chicago. They call Chicago Chirac, but unless you're in very specific parts of Chicago, that shit ain't happening, man. People ain't running around shooting everything up in Chicago like that. Nor are they in St. Louis. It happens, but in certain places. And if you're not involved in certain things, it probably ain't gonna happen to you. That's reality, and so it's just stupid. Especially if you're an adult. When you're a kid, you don't know nothing, you're more susceptible. That's when you're likely to go all off into this and get involved in this stuff. But when you're an adult, it's easy to avoid that shit. Just don't go places and don't be involved with stuff. Biden goes directly after Trump, a new campaign ad, heavy on unflattering golf clips, light on 91 criminal charges. Perhaps in this ad, but they haven't been light on it, and overall they haven't been that light on it. Perhaps in this ad, but there's going to be a lot more ads that come out where they're going crazy.
He says,
or rather, where they're really going after Trump's criminal charges. They're not going to not do that.
He stands with auto workers, but as president, Donald Trump passed tax breaks for his rich friends while automakers shuttered their plants and Michigan lost manufacturing jobs. Joe Biden said he'd stand up for workers, and he's delivering.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like violence is a part of being alive, and it's a part of it's just a part of life, and it happens more in poor areas where people are struggling.
Passing laws that are increasing wages and creating good-paying jobs. Manufacturing is coming back to Michigan because Joe Biden doesn't just talk, he delivers.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Honestly, I don't think this headline was really that fair. I don't really know why they put it like this. Like, it's just a 30-second commercial where they're making a point. Like, I don't. I think this. Then again, there's plenty of stuff to criticize Biden on, but I think that this headline was kind of just lame. Honestly, like, okay, and it's one commercial. You feel me? Like, and it wasn't that bad either.
He says he stands with
It wasn't terrible. It's just a 30-second commercial.
auto workers, but as president, Donald Trump passed tax breaks for his rich friends while automakers shuttered their plants.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this commercial at all. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this commercial. And keep in mind, Joe Biden actually joined the picket line yesterday, which no sitting president in history has done. So, nah. Again, there's plenty to criticize Biden for, but there's nothing wrong with this ad whatsoever.
And Michigan lost manufacturing jobs. Joe Biden said he'd stand up for workers, and he's delivering, passing laws that are increasing wages and creating good-paying jobs. Manufacturing is coming back to Michigan because Joe Biden doesn't just talk, he delivers.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Yeah, wasn't nothing wrong with this. That was a good commercial. Wasn't nothing wrong with that. Just a little 30-second blip, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, no, they're absolutely going to be they have been all over Trump about his situation, and they will continue. Yeah, exactly, Mr. P. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, LV, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that headline was kind of like, huh? Like, that was a good commercial. I thought it was good. You know what I'm saying? Now, here we go. I love it. I love it. You said paper letters to Joey. All right, babe, we gonna organize. That's what we gonna do. That's gonna be one of the first things we do, organize together as a community. I love it. Fulton County, excuse me. Fannie Willis, unfazed by Trump supporters' racist death threats, says, I've been called the N-word so many times. It's that magic word. Let's call them the N-word. That'll stop them dead in their tracks. They won't know what to do. I know 7 words, and the N-word is my favorite one of them. And that's my special trick. That's my magic card. That's their magic card. You know what I'm saying? That's their special card that they got up their sleeves. Yeah, she said, okay, I ain't caring. I'm here to do what I'm here to do. You feel me? She looking like, okay, so you dig?
I know you can't talk about open cases, but I can. You received a letter from Jim Jordan, chair one of the congressional committees, essentially threatening you for your investigation and indictment into the former president and threatening to take away some of this money. And I wish we had the letter to put up on the screen, but you essentially said your ignorance of the law is on full display right now. And when you take away our funding, these are the things that you are taking money away from. So you can't talk about the open cases, but tell us about that.
Oh yeah, I agree, LV. I mean, I'm not a super fan of Joe Biden, but I think when you just look at things objectively, he has done a variety of decent things, and there's only so much of a standard you can hold somebody to who is not a progressive and doesn't even claim to be. You know, like he said, he ran on there won't be any fundamental change. So, but he has been pushed. You feel me? So I think again, the good news for everybody is it's younger generation's time to lead. It just is. You feel me? Like Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z. You feel me? It's more our time to be in the sun. It just is. So I think without a doubt, Biden has gotten more accomplished than Obama did during his 8 years. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But he's done a few things that ain't that bad.
That courage and that fearlessness. I've had an opportunity to talk about it a lot about you. So I want to hear it from you.
in this job and women in general standing into these positions to threaten me is a waste of time. It's a complete waste of their time.
Yes. Yes. More of this. Go ahead, Fanny. Go ahead. Do your thing with your badass. Go ahead.
And it's not going to get anyone results, and I don't care if it's a member of Congress, I don't care if it's a local, someone in the community. One thing that people learn about me is I'm equal opportunity prosecutor. So if you come into this community and you violate the law, you're going to be held accountable. And some people have, taken exception to you could be rich or popular or famous. That does not give you the right to hurt people. And what they don't do is sit in my seat. And so I am the one there with the crying mama that usually looks like me. And they're telling me stories like, my baby was gonna graduate, so we buried him in his cap and gown. And it is not until you have that kind of burden on your shoulders that you understand why it's so important and that people have value. It does not matter your educational level. It does not matter what your zip code is. None of that matters. You are entitled to the same protection as people that don't look like you that live in different communities. And believe me, I'm gonna fight for those communities as well, because I cannot stand a bully and I can't stand people that hurt other people.
Listen. From everything that I've gathered, she is dedicated to making the community laws work. That's what she seems like to me. She seems like she's dedicated to doing what her job description is. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, do your thing.
And we were talking about this backstage. People don't have any concept of the level of threats and hatred that are directed at your way. You were sharing your ex-husband, you all hadn't been together in 18 years. People showed up on his doorstep trying to intimidate you, your 80-year-old father's doorstep.
Right. No, it's been very troubling. I've become very private about my family because of the threats. I have 20-year-olds. They've doxed them. They've doxed my father. They've
Explain to people what that
So
means.
what doxing is, and in particular, just recently on a Russian website, y'all figure out why Russia would be interested. They put the information not only of me and my home address, but also some of my loved ones' addresses. Said a lot of racial things. I've been called the N-word so many times that I don't even think I hear it anymore. But a lot of ugly and nasty things about me. But just with the purpose of you should go and intimidate and threaten this person and their family because of certain prosecutions.
Showing up at your ex-husband's house. I mean, it's one thing when you put your name on the back.
She's gonna be pushed to run for some kind of higher office at some point, I would think.
Ballot and you run for office. What's this like for the people who, what's this like for your loved ones?
It's difficult, and I felt really bad. My ex-husband is remarried. His wife was there. We have a really good relationship. When your kids get 20, y'all start combining forces like they crazy. We need to work on them right now. And so it really bonds you because you have these love for these people and you want to see them successful. And so me and him have a really great friendship. And I felt terrible, and I'm asking him can you get out of where you live? What can we do? I had my security do things to try to make sure that they took safety precautions, but it's very unfair to the other people, and it's a waste of time. It's not going to stop anything that I'm doing.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Fanny. Indeed, I am. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We need more of that. Okay. You trying to fight? I'll fight you. You feel me? That's what we need. Not. We need less people who will just stand down. That also has a lot to do with corruption and stuff like that. But we need a whole lot more of that. Now, check this out. Check this out. New poll. 79% of Republicans in Iowa considering candidates other than Trump. We'll see. You feel me? We'll see. Former President Donald Trump still holds a commanding lead in the Republican presidential primary, but new polling indicates that his grip on the early states may not be as firm as conventional wisdom suggests. According to new CBS News YouGov survey conducted in Iowa and New Hampshire between September 15th and 24th, more Republican voters in the two states have ruled out voting for Trump than have decided they will back him. In Iowa, just 20% of voters say they are only considering Trump, while 48% are choosing between the former president and other candidates. 31%, meanwhile, say they are not considering casting their ballot for Trump. That leaves a shocking 79% of the electorate wide open or committed to voting for a candidate other than Trump. The story is similar in New Hampshire, where 23% of voters are committed to backing Trump, 43% are keeping their options open, and 34, I said 34 and put up a 2. 34. And 34% are only considering candidates other than Trump. And I'm catching up with y'all a bit. All right, again, we'll see what's up with this. But, I don't really know what to say about this because, like, Trump commands the Republican base overall, but everyone else is so far behind him. So I guess, his biggest problem would definitely be those early states. But we'll see what's up. Miss Boebert. Lauren Boebert sparks clash with hateful attack on Biden official. People deserve dignity. Oh, she back at it, boy. She is back at it. And we have a couple things for her. She was trying to look up some amendment or something like that on her phone. And everybody was just waiting or something like that. But here we go. We're just going to go straight to the video.
Boebert and member of opposed each will control 5 minutes. The chair now recognizes the gentlewoman from Colorado.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise today to offer my amendment that utilizes the Holman Rule to reduce the salary of Sean Kelly, Assistant Secretary of Defense for Readiness. That salary shall be reduced to $1. As the Assistant Secretary of Defense, Mr. Skelly is the principal advisor to the Secretary of Defense and the Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness on all matters related to the readiness of our armed forces. In that capacity, he is supposed to develop policies and plans, provide advice, and make recommendations for total force readiness programs, reporting, and assessments of readiness to execute the National Defense Strategy. Like many of Biden's bureaucrats, Mr. Skelly is failing at his job and the basic responsibilities. On his watch, the Army missed their recruiting goal by 15,000 soldiers last year, and all other branches were forced to dig deep into their pools of delayed entry applicants to meet their recruitment goals. On top of that, the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard are all expected to fall short of their recruitment goals this year. Mr. Skelly,
because people don't want to be there. Give them more and people will want to be there. It's not complicated.
Has also been with the Biden administration since the beginning and was appointed to the transition team. Some irony there. In November of 2020, as the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Readiness.
Y'all caught that? Y'all caught what she just said. Some irony there.
Mr. Skelly played an instrumental role in the disastrous and shameful withdrawal from Afghanistan that killed 13 of America's finest, 13 American heroes. This embarrassing surrender.
I mean, look, unless people feel like their countries are literally at risk, there's not going to be a huge call or a huge desire for people to pick up arms for the nation. It just won't be, which means that you got to pay people more, give them better benefits. It's not that complicated, Like, yeah, if people felt like my family, my loved ones, everyone could potentially die because of this rogue nation that's trying to take us over, whatever it may be. Yeah, you would feel more of I have to fight. I have to, or I'm going to die. If I don't fight, we're all going to die. But America just is not in that situation. So give people more. It's not hard.
To the Taliban. As DOD's highest ranking trans official, this delusional man thinking he is a woman embodies and espouses the woke.
Oh, of course. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. But you was just dating a Democrat who has drag shows at his bar. So you don't really care about this. Like,
that's causing significant harm to our military readiness and troop morale.
we have the most powerful military in the history of civilization. No.
The military shouldn't be focused on this woke agenda and combating climate change. And with Mr. Skelly at the helm of readiness, these misguided policy pursuits will continue to be at the forefront of DOD's priorities. I urge my colleagues to support my amendment to restore the focus of our Department of Defense to defend our nation. And Mr. Chair, with that, I reserve.
Again, the military gets more money than it asks for constantly. It don't matter who's in office. They always get more than they need. And obviously, we know the United States sells a lot of weapons to much of the world. That's a lot of what we do. But, despite the fact that like 1% of U.S. adults identify as transgender individuals, somehow that's the biggest problem with our military, is if someone who's transgender doesn't have the ability to shoot people. I don't think that's stopping people. Again, now I don't know how many transgender individuals there are in the military, but given the fact that 1% of the U.S. adult population identifies as that, they're probably not very many. It's probably not a thing you see often. And again, I don't think that that's going to stop somebody from throwing a punch or taking out a knife and thrusting it through somebody's neck, or picking up a gun and shooting somebody in the head or shooting them in the stomach while their guts spill all over the place. I know that may be a bit gross and gory, but that's what happens in war, and anyone can do that. So I don't, this is just so ridiculous.
Lady reserves. For what purpose does the gentlelady from Minnesota seek recognition?
Mr. Chair, I rise in the strongest opposition to this amendment. And people deserve to be treated with dignity and respect when being addressed.
Like, how does being a transgender man or woman, what does that have to do with you being able to fly a plane or be a medic? Like, what does that have anything to do with anything?
Assistant Secretary Skelly has served in her role admirably, as she has done as her time as a naval officer. Assistant Secretary Skelly is a naval fighter, naval for over 20 years. And I am a little upset because the lack of respect that has been shown to Secretary Kelly by the last speaker is surprising for me on this House floor, which we hold in high esteem. A naval flight officer for 20 years, including time spent in the Pacific. Well, we're all important how important this region is right now. There's absolutely no basis for this amendment. The colleague who offers this amendment provides no real substantive reason why Assistant Secretary Kelly should have her salary reduced. There's only one reason why Assistant Secretary Kelly is being targeted.
And how disrespectful is it to people who are willing to volunteer to be in the military, who are willing to volunteer to potentially give their lives for this country, whether it be for a just cause or because oil companies want to maintain their control over the markets? How disrespectful is it to them to be like, nah, we just not gonna pay y'all more. We're just not gonna do it. It's because trans people exist. That's what's going on.
Because she is simply a woman. I have fought long and hard with many women before me and with our allies for pay equity. We still have a long way to go, but I'm never going to vote to reduce a woman's salary. I urge my colleagues to vote no, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlelady from Colorado is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess delusion runs deep in the Democrat Party. I would go on the record to say that science is a friend in this case, and sure, if you want to call Mr. Skelly a her, his chromosomes are still XY, and
what, like, this? It's just so it's so just. And it's coming from her too. It's like, why are you talking about this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you the one leading this charge? And it's like, well, actually, she's a man. Actually, she has XY. Who cares, bruh? And then again, it's coming from you. She's so trashy, man. She's so just, ugh.
we trust the science over here rather than delusion and playing dress up and imaginary games with our military readiness. Our military needs to be lethal and able to defend our national security, not pander to the woke extremist left and make up fairy tales. Mr. Chair, I reserve.
The gentlelady reserves. The gentlelady from Minnesota is recognized.
Mr. Chair, when it comes to service of our country, there's a couple of things we ask from people. To take a loyalty oath, they do that. To pass basic training and to be up and fit for the job that they're called upon to do, they do that. Secretary Skelly qualifies in all those areas. And as far as the conversation that my colleague is having, I'm not going to engage in hateful rhetoric, Mr. Chair. Instead, I want to focus on the admirable service that our transgender, gay, bisexual members do in an all-voluntary army. They
volunteer for this, man. They like
put their lives on the line. They deserve the dignity and respect this House can give them. And with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlelady from Colorado is recognized.
Oh, she back. They going back and forth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want the record to reflect that there's nothing hateful about truth. And again, I do urge my colleagues to support.
What are you talking about?
My amendment to restore the focus of our Department of Defense to defend our nation. So I look forward to this Holman Rule being utilized to reduce the salary of Secretary Sean Skelly, the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Readiness, to $1. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield.
The gentlelady yields back. The gentle.
To $1, bro. I mean, she is unbelievable. She's a joke, bro. She's like, are you really like? This is so unbelievably stupid. And here we go. I think that this was I think this is from that too. Oh, I gotta share it. Yeah, she really should lay low for a while. Like, Lauren, how about you go away for a minute and just shut up? Let people, not think about you for a little bit. But House debate stalls as Lauren Boebert scrambles to find amendment on phone.
With that, I urge the defeat of this amendment, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Colorado.
Madam Chair, one moment. My apologies. I do not have amendment number 77 in front of me. But Madam Chair, I do urge adoption of Amendment 77 to be considered to decrease the salary of the Deputy Secretary. The Deputy Secretary. I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves.
Yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The chair recognizes the gentlelady from Colorado.
Please. Madam Chair, I yield the gentleman 1 minute.
Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair.
Hold up. I lost it. I lost it. I'm not prepared at all. That's basically what she said. I mean, that was just such a clear admission that she's full of shit and that she just bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. I didn't prepare this at all. I didn't really think about it because I mean, what do you really have to prepare for and think about? Like literally all she did is go up there and be like, actually, she's a dude. That's literally all she did. Like, well, I don't know if you knew this, but boys can't be girls and girls can't be boys. You know, so of course she didn't have the amendment pulled up because what type of prep does that really take? You know what I'm saying? Like she's ugh. House Republican castigates GOP hardliners such as Matt Gaetz for being stuck on stupid amid looming government shutdown. Yeah, if the government shuts down, it's not gonna look bad on the Democrats. And Matt Gaetz even himself says, "Yo, this is actually because of the Republicans." Like, okay.
Congressman, thank you for being here. You heard Speaker McCarthy just a few moments ago saying that the House will consider that conservative stopgap bill, even though it's not clear necessarily tonight that there are the votes to pass it. I mean, do you believe that the votes are there, or is it clear to you what the strategy is exactly tonight?
Well, we're going to work like heck to pass it. I mean, I've been very clear from the start that I will not support a government shutdown, that we need to do everything we can to avoid one. Nobody wins in a government shutdown. And in fact, the American people are going to be the ones that get hurt. At the end of the day, I fundamentally agree with our conference that we need to cut spending. Joe Biden increased spending by over $5 trillion in new spending in his first 2 years.
Donald Trump drove we looked at it I think a week or so ago. What was it? Donald Trump in the largest deficit in history in the shortest amount of time. It was like almost what Obama's was in 8 years and just 4. Donald Trump did. So
that's unsustainable. And our national debt has now crossed $33 trillion. So we absolutely need to rein in spending. We need to go through the single subject appropriations bills. We all agreed to that at the beginning of.
No, I just don't see how anyone who isn't obscenely wealthy can possibly care about this rhetoric. We got to cut back on spending. This country spends too much money. Like, and it'd be people who are like middle class, lower class saying this type of stuff. Like, bruh, like, do you even understand what it is that you're saying? Do you even realize that like you're advocating against what you need? Like, well, the deficit. I know so much about finance. Then why is your ass poor? You feel me? All these poor ass people. And you feel me? And look, we all broke. We all done been broke. We all done did better than we have in other times. But it's like yo broke ass sitting up here talking about the debt and the deficit. You're broke. Why are you talking about this?
Of the year. So this isn't some bright idea that Matt Gaetz came up with. This was something we all agreed to. But the bottom line is we're not going to pass them by September 30th, all 12 of them. The Senate is not going to pass them all by September 30th and get conferenced and agreed upon and passed again and signed into law. And so we need to continue to fund the government. 2 weeks ago, the Speaker came forth with a proposal that would reduce spending by 8% in the 30-day continuing resolution, as well as enact most of the provisions of H.R. 2 to deal with our border crisis.
Yeah, for 30 days.
Unfortunately, folks like Matt Gaetz chose to oppose that for some ridiculous reason and came up with this idea that
Mick got a Rolex and he done crossed into Valhalla. You know what I'm saying? That boy in Valhalla now, he has risen above us mere mortals in his benevolence and his importance.
somehow he knows
all he got to do is wake up in the morning and hold that Rolex up to the sun and everything goes his way for that day. That's all they need to do. It's the magic. You feel me? You wind it up and you let it roast in the sun for just 60 seconds. Your day's perfect. Ain't no struggle gonna come your way.
We're going to get 4 bills passed. These 4 bills that just got passed in the rule tonight are the same 4 bills that the Speaker proposed bringing to the floor weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, and there's been multiple failed attempts, but You say you're going to work like heck to get it passed on Friday, but if McCarthy can't lose more than 4 votes, there's already 4 hardliners saying they will not pass that, no matter how much money for the border is in it or whatever. So what is the plan on Friday night when that fails?
Look, if that fails, obviously the only way forward is with a bipartisan CR. Any final continuing resolution would, of course, be bipartisan because the Democrats control the Senate. The president is a Democrat. He's going to need to sign off on it. But obviously, when you're trying to pass something through the House, you want to work as a conference. The American people elected a House Republican majority to serve as a check and balance and to be able to govern.
Yeah.
And so some of my colleagues have, frankly, been stuck on stupid and refused to do what we were elected to do.
Stuck on stupid, baby. They stuck on only some of my colleagues. There's only a few Republicans that be tripping, but all the rest of them, they don't be tripping. They normal. They regular ass people. They don't. Republicans are so normal. Hold up. Let's bring the Trump boys into it. We got the Trump boys in here now. The Trump family rushes to Zillow to prove court ruling that Mar-a-Lago is overvalued by 2,300%. No, we rich for real, y'all. We rich for real. Oh, it opened up into X. Hold on, I'll read over here. Donald Trump Jr. He talks like this, his voice is like this when he speaks. I don't really know what Eric Trump sounds like. I've heard him so few times. Hold up. Bring this over here real quick to this other little secret so we can see the full tweet. In an attempt to destroy my father and kick him out of New York, a judge just ruled that Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, the Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is only worth approximate $18 million. Mar-a-Lago is speculated to be worth well over $1 billion, making it arguably the most valuable residential property in the country. It is also so corrupt and coordinated. It's only worth $18 million. Look at this. Mar-a-Lago at tax time, at loan time. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Go ahead and let's use this email. I'm gonna put it in here. Hold up. Ooh, put my email address in here. All right, now we go to Zillow. Let's see. Let's get back to this. His daddy done thrown him under the bus a million times too. If my father tried claiming the property was worth $18 million, he would probably then get charged with trying to underpay his real estate taxes. They've set the game up so it's always lose-lose in these blue states. If you don't abide by their narrative, they will target you. Oh, that's Donald Trump Jr. If you don't abide by their narrative, they will target you.
But you kind of got to talk like this because Donald Trump Jr. does cocaine all the fucking time.
Trust me, I know. I used to do cocaine all the time, too. If Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million, I'll take 10, please. These homes are about 1/30th the size of mine. They trying to prove that they rich. Bro, look at these losers. They're so lame. They're so lame. These homes are about 1/30, and and these Trumps are 3 times removed from the source, which was Fred Trump. Well, what was their daddy name? Was it Fred Trump or whatever his name was? He the one who, man, if only he could come back for a day. If only they had like some Naruto reanimation jutsu in real life so that they could just do their little finger shits, you feel me? And then And then Fred Trump would come back to life and be like, ah, what the hell have you done with my name? He done destroyed his daddy's name. These homes are about 1/30th the size of Mar-a-Lago, not on the beach, let alone the beach and intercoastal. Don't span from one side of the Palm Beach Island to the other. One side? Oh, he was in a rush typing this. It is a travesty of justice and an embarrassment to the court. The New York judge says Mar-a-Lago is worth between $18 million and $27.6 million. A nearby vacant lot, 2.3 acres, is for sale on Zillow for $200 million. Mar-a-Lago sits on 17 acres with waterfronts on both sides. Bro, they trying so hard. Like what? And this, like the fact that this is what they're so focused on is like, yes, the 1,000 years of death jutsu. Yes, indeed. I just like, bro, these people, and then of course Ted Cruz. Let one time for how pathetic of a bitch ass bitch Ted Cruz is. I mean, he deserves that word with a hard B. Ted Cruz is a bitch. This man, Donald Trump disrespected him so bad, and you're running to the rescue of his properties, bro. You're running to the rescue of his, oh, God. Him and Kevin McCarthy, man. Him and Kevin McCarthy are two, what pathetic idiots. Goodness gracious. Ugh. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Democrat activist posing as a judge, ruled Mar-a-Lago's value down to $18 million. Democrats are so jealous of President Trump's extraordinary success, they will do anything to destroy him. They're jealous because none of the other Democrats have money. They're just jealous. You know what I'm saying? None of the other Democrats are rich. Not a single one of them. Ain't nobody jealous of Donald Trump, bro. Pretty much every single Democrat that's in the House and definitely the Senate is more successful than Donald Trump, just in a sense that they didn't fuck everything up for themselves, right? You feel me? More of them, like, bro, they're jealous of Donald Trump. Give me a break, man. These people are so just, woo! Like, bro, but that was pathetic, though. I mean, we see Ted Cruz be pathetic all the time. It's like, bro, you running to the rescue for this man's properties. Oh, that's painful. That is painful. New York Times reporter tells Morning Joe, fraud verdict could end it all for Trump businesses. If it holds up, that's the show.
What is from the politics? What is your sense, having covered this so closely, about where this goes from here? I mean, there's a lot of talk of Donald Trump being effectively booted out of New York City as a real estate developer, 40 Wall Street, Trump Tower, the properties up in Westchester that he has. Is that realistic?
Right, exactly. The dude is literally a worldwide laughing stock. Literally. No one is jealous of Donald Trump.
Could be stripped of his ability to do business in the city and the state?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question today. Some lawyers have called this sort of a corporate death penalty, that the judge has ordered these LLCs that control these properties to be shut down and then disgorged of their assets. But these are not just his New York entities. EJT Holdings also controls most of his golf courses around the country and around the world. There's one entity in it that starts with a 401. That's the entity that owns the Chicago Tower. So that's a big question. If you dissolve these entities and disgorge them of their assets, that's the show. That's the whole thing. So he's going to fight this until the end. I'm sure it'll go up to New York State's highest court and probably back down a couple of times. But this is, if it's as simple as what the judge states here and it holds, it is a very serious few years that he's got ahead of him here that could end it all.
Bro, the biggest mistake Donald Trump ever made in his life was becoming president. That's the worst thing he ever did for himself.
Trump adult sons, Don Jr. and Eric, involved in this as well. Eric put out a statement yesterday attacking the judge, of course, and saying he values Mar-a-Lago, Eric Trump does, at $1 billion. That's the number he put on it. So we'll leave that to the realtors down there in Palm Beach to assess that. But what is your sense of what comes next? Obviously, Donald Trump and his team, like all these trials, are going to try to delay, kick the can down the road a little bit. What does it look like when the bench trial starts next week, if it does, in fact?
Sure. So as you said, bench trial, right?
Donald Trump is sexually attracted to his daughter. He's just,
So not a jury trial. And I think the key thing that still needs to be decided here are a couple issues. First off, the judge did not decide on the issues, and we'll wait for the bench trial to determine whether or not the Trump Organization falsified business documents. Now, we know for the Manhattan DA's case, they were convicted of doing exactly that. But this particular suit goes beyond it. Of course, there's no criminal penalties, as Chuck pointed out, but that could also factor into what happens here from a civil suit perspective. And then, of course, this disgorgement, the $250 million that the New York Attorney General is seeking. What happens with that? How much of that is actually imposed? And what does that ultimately mean? I think that's the big question mark for the Trump Organization. To Russ's point, what that ultimately means for Donald Trump and his assets and his personal wealth going into this election and going on for the rest of his life and for the Trump family. So I think as difficult as this ruling was for them yesterday, the real danger, the disgorgement, the fact that the money and the assets could really be taken away from them, that real danger lurks right around the corner.
You know, it's interesting. Voters all have different ways and different things that get to them. And I personally think Letitia James was onto something when she did this. I know a lot of business owners who are Trump supporters, but are slowly going, ugh.
And then again, what does it really show? What does it really say in terms of, like, Donald Trump is actively encouraging his followers to harass and attack people who are in positions to make decisions over his life. Like, he's his own worst enemy. He's such an idiot.
Is it too much? They pay their taxes. They play by the rules. They don't lie about the size of their hardware stores or their shops or their homes. And reading this could be more insulting than some of the other things that could be just, you know what, they're too busy for it. They're too focused on their own businesses.
Like stealing nuclear secrets. Maybe like, I didn't get that, but he did have a...
Yes, somebody called the SCP Foundation. Where they at, man? We need a whole bunch of horror in here. Well, maybe they are the SCP Foundation. I think that's what's going on.
Oh, I'm not saying they don't get it at all. I'm just saying it's not personal. This is personal. This is what Trump has. This has been his game. Exaggerating to rip people off. And most American voters are good people who play by the rules and love this country. Chuck, I'm curious, in terms of all the legal challenges facing Donald Trump, what are we looking at next down the line?
Well, if you want to talk about all of the legal challenges, Mika, we're going to need a couple more hours this morning. I mean, there are 4 pending indictments. There are civil cases in New York and elsewhere. And who knows what tomorrow will bring for the Trump team. You know,
I can't see Trump getting away with all of this scot-free. I don't think that's going to happen. But at the same time, I don't feel like he's necessarily going to go to prison. But I just don't. I don't see how he can get away with all of this. It's just too much. And not only that, but he has so many federal issues. And, you know, every day he's up at 4:30 in the morning saying, fuck the judge, fuck the prosecution, fuck everybody who's in a position to put me in jail. Like, you know, nah, man, I think, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I just can't see him getting away with all of this. I can't see it.
interesting to me in terms of valuations. And I know that doesn't sound like something that would go together, interesting in valuations. But if you read the opinion,
like if he loses the ability to do business in New York, and again, like the Trump's final days are going to be horrible for him. That's why I'm saying, Nara House. That's what I'm saying. It's like how can this dude get away with all of this shit? I think that's unreasonable to think. I just, and it's all his fault. It's all his fault. All of it.
One instance, the judge cited the fact that Mr. Trump had overvalued his Mar-a-Lago property, if you compare it to what the county assessor thought it was worth, by 2,300%. I mean, that is not a rounding error. And so this is not a mistake. This is not inadvertence. This is not the fact that they didn't pay attention to detail. It's that they committed an egregious fraud on the banks. And maybe the banks aren't sympathetic victims, but as Tom Winter pointed out earlier, they have investors. And those investors are entitled to, their banks being given full and fair and free information. And that didn't happen. And so lots of legal challenges.
He came out and said,
the numbers that are on these financial statements, anyone who actually read it, because, I'm Donald Trump and everybody knows I love to read. I love paying attention to the little details. That's what I do. So if anyone would have paid attention, they would have seen the giant disclaimer on the front that says, these numbers aren't real.
Then why did you put them? Being him, being in his shoes, just think about the outrageous insecurity that he feels all the time. His final days are just going to be horrible for him. And, that's the bed he made for himself.
Just for Mr. Trump, the most significant are the ones that could put him in jail. The two federal indictments, the two state indictments, one in Georgia and one in New York. If you're thinking about worst case scenarios, if you're lying awake at night and staring at the ceiling, it's the pending criminal cases. But from a business risk perspective, the fact that they could lose the right to do business in New York, that they could lose their business certificates, that they might have to disgorge profits, is extraordinarily significant for this company. As the judge pointed out, a company built on lies and fantasy in many ways.
Wow. Former U.S. Attorney Chuck Rosenberg and NBC.
And again, you got to think the more that Donald Trump wakes up, the man doesn't sleep. So the more that he's up at 3:30, 5:30 in the morning saying, you know what I'm saying? Fuck the judge. Fuck everybody. Yeah. You gonna be 91 criminal charges saying fuck you to everybody? You really think that's gonna happen, bro? He's a cartoon character, man. He is a cartoon character, bro. This man is not a real human being. I have the quotes right here. House Democrat reads incriminating receipts after Republican says we do not desire a shutdown.
And we are taking a stand here. We're operating in good faith. We're negotiating together for the best outcome for the people. And we do not desire a shutdown. I yield back to the gentleman.
The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Appreciate the gentleman's comments, but I should remind him that the Republicans set an amendment deadline on appropriations bills after the shutdown deadline. So don't tell me you're not interested, that you're interested somehow in avoiding a shutdown. And to speak more about that, I yield 2 minutes to the gentleman who's the ranking member on the Budget Committee, Mr. Boyle.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Previous speaker just said that no Republican member wants a shutdown. I have the quotes right here, which I will submit for the record when I'm done. One House Republican said, "Let's shut it down." Another Republican colleague saying we shouldn't fear a government shutdown. Most Americans won't even miss it. And the leader of the Republican Party, the former president, saying, quote, "Unless you get everything, shut it down." Make no mistake about it. We are here because certain members on the other side of the aisle want a shutdown. They even said they want a shutdown. And why should we be surprised about that? Ever since I was in high school 30 years ago, we've had 5 government shutdowns. All 5 took place under House Republican leadership. When Democrats were in charge of the House, 0 government shutdowns during that same time period. Now, in terms of the one Republican member who said that the American people won't miss it if there is a government shutdown, actually, here's what would happen. More than 7 million Americans would lose access to their benefits, women, infants, and children. 2.5 million active duty and reserve personnel serving in our nation's armed forces would go without the pay they deserve. 2.3 million federal workers could be furloughed or forced to work without pay. Millions of Americans who are going to our airports and going through TSA lines suddenly finding themselves with unending delay. There are, by the way, 1.6 million Americans.
Yo, now again, there's still so much up in the air when it comes to Biden versus Trump. But man, the Democrats are going to sweep the House elections. Because again, the Republican, outside of Trump, the Republican Party's biggest problem is their policies. Man, they're going to get their asses whooped.
Who fly through our airports every single day who will be impacted. 660,000 college students who rely on federal work study. I was one of those students at one point who relied on that program. So make no mistake about it. There are real consequences to shutdowns. My colleague from Massachusetts cited the data before. Cost us $11 billion the last shutdown. This one would do the same.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Bro, these people. Man, the Republican Party's a problem, bro. They are they're a problem. They're dangerous, man. These people are dangerous, bro. Like, I mean, the Democrats are corrupt, but there's room to replace them. There's room for improvement. But man, bro, the Republican Party is like, no, we will take your abortion rights away. We will take your voting rights away. And it's like, okay. Oh, Tommy Laren's back in the building. Tommy Laren's back in the what is Fritza talking about? Grits and shrimps with bacon oh, that's too wonderful. That is too wonderful. Yeah, we zooming today. We getting through these stories, you know what I'm saying? Oh God. Yeah, man, Fritza can cook, man. Fritza can cook. Tommy Laren, she mad. Yo, Tommy Laren is like, woo. Now listen, there are women out here who deserve to have a lot of shit talked about them, because men and women are human beings. We be tripping, men get a lot of heat. You feel me, man? We get dragged a lot out here. We deserve it oftentimes. You know what I'm saying? Like men put women through a whole lot, but man, women are people too, and y'all got problems too. Okay. All right. So, and some of y'all got real serious problems. And Tammy Laren is definitely one of those people. She got problems. I mean, bruh, she's plenty good looking. She's pretty. That ain't her problem. It's her. She is her problem. She is she's very insecure is what she is. No. Ugh, no. Let's see what she has to say. I think there should be a video in here somewhere. You'd be having to reload this website. Here we go. It's going to take us to X. We got to go to X. Hold up. Up. Oh, my bad. I got it on this other page. Hold on one sec. We got to go to X. That's so stupid. Why did you change Twitter to X? It's so dumb. X. Like, bro, Elon, you're such a weirdo. He's so strange. Didn't he name his recent child like Techno Mechanicus or some bullshit like that? Like, dude, you're not cool. You think you're so edgy and futuristic, but you're just weird. Tommy Laren is fearless. We got the countdown. What?
As director of press advance, Joanna Maska on deck with her best.
And then Tommy Laren, she put something out recently, you know what I'm saying, where she was like, She was like, men suck, men are horrible. I hate men. Men are so stupid. Like, that doesn't sound very conservative of you now. Now, if you ask me, you kind of sound like a raging blue-haired feminist. You know, those people, those crazy feminists that you be talking about, the ones who are like, we don't need men for anything. Men are horrible. All like, the fringe feminists. You kind of sounding like one right now where you sitting up here saying, fuck men, men suck. I hate men. But I guess not. Well, let's see. We're not going to listen to this whole thing. We're going to skim through it.
Attempt to defend it all. The show starts now.
Yeah, she do look different.
So, as usual, the Democrats have given us heaps of crap to sift through on this Monday, but let's start with this. Zelensky, I can't stand that little twerp. You all well know that, but he's given me.
It's one of those things like, girl, who are you really? She's probably underneath all this BS. She probably is such a just hurt sweetheart who's just very, very insecure.
And hopefully you yet another reason to question his integrity.
Girl, get you some therapy.
His intentions, his moral compass. Zelensky has taken the liberty of appointing this woman.
I saw it. I did see it come through. Thank you so much for sending it. I'll be checking that out. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you. And again, thank you for the gifted sub earlier.
Marina Abramovich as an ambassador for rebuilding schools in Ukraine. She is dubbed a performance artist, but her art appears to be heavy on the side of sick, twisted, and satanic, and light on the
I'm going to skip to the Kelsey stuff because whatever.
Art. Sure will be.
Want to respect.
Live to regret those decisions.
Yeah, I can't imagine an artist really serving much of a purpose within an administration other than maybe Christmas decorations. But it's just
probably not going to mix well with issue.
We got the migrants. I just want to hear about Kelsey and Taylor Swift. We're not gonna pain ourselves with this too much.
No, you went through the Obama administration when we were at the end. Sure that they are
marching to live there.
Where you at?
But
get to do more. I mean, President hearing this, I think, is probably giving the Democrats too much credit to the jobbers. Be it.
Oh, here we go. I think we've arrived.
It's the news that broke the internet over the weekend. Taylor Swift attended a Kansas City Chiefs game with none other than the mother of the player that she may or may not be dating, Travis Kelce. Why people are so consumed with this is a little beyond me, given all the other perhaps more consequential things going on in the world.
Why are you talking about it? What do you mean?
But hey, I can play along and recognize the significance of this pop culture moment in time. And let me just say this, her lefty, liberal, brain-dead political opinions aside, I am a fan of Taylor Swift, and I have been since way before she went full liberal. She's also single-handedly done more for the U.S. economy than any Democrat president maybe ever. And when I heard the rumors of her and Travis Kelce, at first I thought, there is no way this is going to last. I mean, he's an athlete. He's big. He's strong, and unlike her other boyfriends, looks like he can withstand a strong breeze without falling over or crying. So not necessarily her type, as you can see.
But hold up, I'm about to look up her last boyfriend because I'm pretty sure he doesn't look like Kelsey.
But then I saw this ad, and well, it all came together for me.
Travis, did you know you can get this season's COVID-19 shot when you get your flu shot?
Two things at once. Two things at once! Two things at once! I'll have two things at once, please. Now back to two things at once.
Right, she knows she jealous. Like, get out of here, man.
Two things at once.
That's not because, no.
Two things at once?
Mom!
Travis, ask about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Now, a couple of months back, we forgave Travis Kelce for his Bud Light commercial, but pushing the jab, no, that's just a little too rich for my blood, no pun intended. So perhaps this T-Swift Travis Kelce thing is a match made in heaven after all, and I wish them the best of luck, not with their relationship per se, but rather myocarditis. And those are my final thoughts from Nashville.
She said, I wish them the best of luck, but not with their relationship. She jealous. She's so jealous. Girl, why you mad? Girl, I think this why you mad. Hold up. This why she mad. Because you had a husband and now you don't, which a lot of people go through that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people go through that, but I mean, he's a D, good looking guy, whatever. But you ain't with him now. So what happened? Stuff happens. Relationships are tough. Relationships are complicated. But I remember she made that video. Men, men are so horrible. You know what I'm saying? Men are terrible. All the women I know have so many problems with men. Like, it's a thing. It's a thing. I feel you, but no, the worst part of that whole thing was when she said, I wish these two the best, but not on their relationship. Like, what? What are you talking? Oh God. The jealousy. Now, hold up. Now let's see what people had to say. Jealousy is an ugly thing, Tommy learned. Not a good look. Because again, like pretty much everybody can see that you jealous. Wow, you really are pathetically mean. And again, the whole thing about how could he do a commercial for COVID? How could he do a commercial for Gatorade or Nike or Adidas or anybody else who endorses him? What are you talking about? And like we discussed yesterday, like, bro, ain't nobody even, yeah, she was married, but she ain't no more. She ain't now. Again, and that happens. You feel me? It happens. But she doesn't seem to have done any introspection whatsoever. Because listen, I've been through difficult things with women. And I've been hurt by women. But there's a lot of introspection you got to do because you can't just walk away from stuff like that with a negative point of view. You ain't helping nobody. You feel me? Like how? But yeah. What a terrible thing to say. Why do you hate everyone? Poor baby Blondie with the dyed hair. You really are jealous of those that are much more relevant than you. Jealousy's not. She is, bro. She's so. Hold up. We about to look this up. Yep. Burn your Gatorade. Yeah, she did wish them that. I wish y'all the best when you have a terrible heart condition. Hold up. Oh, we got Matt Walsh. Hold up. We had Matt Walsh telling this. Well, hold up. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is Dr. Phil. We had this on Dr. Phil. Hold up now. Hold up now. Mrs. Men suck. I'm done with men. I feel you, girl. I really feel you because it's a lot of piece of shit guys out here. And even when guys aren't terrible and a piece of shit. Again, relationships are hard, man. But you got to grow up, Tommy. You got to grow up.
For all the men out there and all the boys who think they're men, but they're actually boys. This is going to be the summer of canceling boys. All of my friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. Almost every single one of them have an issue with men.
So what? Anyone who dates has issues with dating because dating isn't easy. Relationships aren't easy. One of the beautiful things about relationships, especially if they're any kind of good, is you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about people, humanity. Oh, all the women I know have problems with men. Like, and the fuck? Pretty much every man I know has problems with women in some regard. I got problems with women. And women love me women love me so much, I take it for granted. But I still got problems with them because I'm a human being and dating is difficult. So what's the point of even saying this?
If all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think it might not be us. It might be men. It is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas. Quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country. I am tired of dealing with trash men. If you want to mix in people like me and people like my friends who are go-getters, please don't mix us in with the Tatianas. If we
What?
find out that you are also talking to 5 Tatianas who have nothing going on, Houston, we have a problem. It will be a cold day in hell.
And look, listen, what she just said, reflected so much insecurity because I go through stuff like this with women, right? Not most women. Most women are great, but every once in a while, like women will excuse themselves from dating me because of some shit that went on up here. Nothing I did, but because they started to think like, he seems like other women like him, and maybe he's talking to other women. Like, girl, I just met you. Who cares if I'm talking to other women? We're not even discussing this. But again, Tom, if you're gonna talk to us and mix us in with 5 other Thadianas, I feel you. But like, unless you have proof of that, like that a guy's lying to you, like he says, I'm only talking to you, or you're in a relationship with somebody. Who can, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just stupid, and I always laugh when that happens because. And women go through that. Men and women go through this, but like people will just excuse themselves. I ain't do nothing to you. You feel me? Like, I ain't do nothing to you. And you don't know nothing about me for real. You just probably saw me looking good somewhere and was like, oh no, oh, there's other women. No. But that ain't my problem. And Tommy Lahren, you're gonna have to get over that, or else you're not going to be able to date someone who's worth a damn. You feel me? You can't, if you're dating someone who's worth a damn, they don't have to be the best looking person or anything like that. But if they're worth a damn, other people are going to be interested in them. But you don't have to think about that. Why are you thinking about this? It's just insecurity. You getting in your own way. People like Tommy Lahren, women like Tommy Lahren aren't capable of being in healthy relationships because they got too much stuff going on up here. And she's a mean person on top of that. On top of that, she's not a nice person. You feel me? But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, what's the point? Like, girl, if I'm not your man, and you feel me? But again, most women don't do that because most women aren't like that kind of maybe baggaged or insecure. But Tommy Lahren, she got problems, man. She got problems. She one of those women that just like, you got to get yourself together because you're a head case. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, it's just that was funny though. Tommy Lahren is definitely 100% jealous. You feel me? She's 100% jealous of him. Like, girl, just get to know the man. Just get to know the dude. Like, don't run away from him before you even get to know anything about him. Like that people be cheating themselves out of so much positivity in dating because they're like, well, I like this person, so let me not go down that path. And I feel you because people are complicated, but give people a chance. This dude said, I love the poorly educated. And didn't he say that too about like I love the black vote, the blacks. I love blacks. He'd be saying something like that. Trump once declared in a victory speech, we won with the poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. Like, what? Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, that was just funny because it's like, Tommy Lahren, you are so obviously not in a good place to be in a healthy relationship with anybody. Talking about, and then she talking about some, I wish them the best of luck, but not on their relationship. Like, yo, you look really mad. You look really mad. Oh, you going to the dog park? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and have a good time. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said, Galvatron. He said, "Look at my African American over there." Ah, that's so hilarious. He said the poorly educated. Ah, I love the poorly educated. He does want to date his daughter. All right, let's go. Delusional. Trump slammed by auto workers for speech at non-union shop during strike. United Auto Workers union members blasted former President Donald Trump for planning to speak at a non-union shop during a strike this week. Reporter Tina Desiree Berg from Status Quo News spoke to two members of the UAW on Tuesday ahead of President Joe Biden's visit to the picket line. Trump is expected to follow Biden to the state Wednesday, but is scheduled to address workers at the non-union Macomb Company Automotive Parts. I don't understand. Quote, I don't understand how Trump can address union workers at a non-union facility and still come off as being pro-labor. Berg told the workers, I don't think that Trump is pro-labor. One of the men replied, he's got a history, a very, very long, sordid history of not paying his workers. Indeed, he does. Indeed, he does. The poorly educated. I can't get over this. I love the poorly educated. Oh. He's got a lot of people kind of chomping at the bit, trying to get paid as it is now. He continued, it's not paying his lawyers. So yeah, as far as labor is concerned, it doesn't matter where he goes to speak. None of us are going to believe it. Yeah, there you go. Let's see.
Well, let me ask you this one quick thing on the sidebar on that. Trump is actually going to be speaking at a non-union facility. I don't understand how he can address union workers at a non-union facility and still come off as being pro-labor. It seems to me like, what are you trying to make a play for right to work? Like, what's going on here? Do you have any thoughts on that? If you can't talk about it, that's fine. I get it. But if you can.
No, I don't think that Trump is pro-labor. I mean, it's just that simple. He's got a history, a very, very long, sordid history of not paying his workers. He's got a lot of people kind of chomping at the bit, trying to get paid as it is now. It's not paying his lawyers. Yeah, as far as labor is concerned, it doesn't matter where he goes to speak. None of us are going to believe it.
Lots of people driving by and honking in support. I don't know if you want to add anything to that about the Trump speaking at a non-union.
It's very strange, you know, if he was.
Trump said, I love all you stupid motherfuckers. Trump said, I love all you idiots. You're so fucking dumb.
When I said I could go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, I didn't really know that it was the truth, but it looks like it is.
Oh my God. We having a good time today. We are rolling today. We got the stream started late and I got going late today, but it's Fritz's birthday and we having a good time. We are having a fantastic time. Kevin McCarthy backtracks on Menendez's resignation after being reminded George Santos is also under indictment. Speaker, here we go. Let's just watch a video.
Yeah, you called on Bob Menendez to resign. You did. Did you ask him? What you did over the weekend, you said he should resign. Do you think that George Santos, who's been indicted on federal criminal charges, should also resign?
No, I think George could have his day in court, and I think Menendez could have his
Mr. Speaker,
court.
why do you think he's resigned then?
It could be his choice, but it was.
Oh my God. Bro, the GOP is something else, right? I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to begin right now. Like, what do we even how do we make it through all of this today? I don't know how we do this, y'all. Right, exactly. You got to be extra corrupt to be indicted. So that Bob Menendez, it's like, man, you had to go above and beyond to get in the position you in now. I'm tripping. I'm over here trying to do all this stuff with the mouse. Hold up. Okay. Hold on. The internet roasting Eric Trump, talking about how his daddy hung him out to dry. Hung him out to dry. You know what I'm saying? While everyone can see that this case is egregious, the only thing worse than weaponizing the legal system against a political opponent is unfairly going after their family. Both the attorney general and the judge know I had absolutely nothing to do with this case. Every single person has testified that my job has always been acquiring, developing, and managing properties, not back office functions. The only reason I am collateral damage is because my last name is Trump. And I am unwavering in the support of my father, his accomplishments, and what he has done for our country, a nation which is now rapidly in decline. Dear Eric, probably because your dad threw you under the bus and said you were in control of the company while he was president. That may have something to do with it.
I wonder if the judge will let Eric serve my time for me.
Yo, he 100% is not above this. You know he would let his son go to jail in his stead.
Rightfully, like, Eric, I know that I'm 40 something years older than you and I've lived most of my life, but do this for daddy. Do this for papa.
Quote, Eric Trump is the executive vice president of the Trump Organization and oversees all aspects of management and operation of the global real estate empire. Trump Organization website. I had absolutely nothing to do with fraud by the Trump Organization. Eric Trump. Remember when your dad threw you under the bus when he was under oath? Me too. You poor thing. When he said Mar-a-Lago was worth $1.5 billion, was he including the value of the classified documents? I'm having quite a fantastic live stream today. Yes, we are having an amazing time together. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Eric, if you love your papa, then go to prison.
What's your new career plan? I recommend something with flexible hours so you can visit your father in prison during visiting hours. Fail son Froster, who pled the fifth hundreds of times to conceal the family's crimes, says what? He invoked the Fifth Amendment 500 times. A family of criminals, man. A family of criminals. Yo, Donald Trump is such a piece of shit, man. He's such a piece of shit. He really does not care about anybody but himself. He don't give a damn about his kids. Okay, we just watched this about the possibility of him losing the right to do business in New York. We got a couple more. Yes. He must have divided that by a lot of thousands. That's exactly what happened. He could fit everybody under that bus until he can't. Until he can't fit anybody else underneath the bus, he gonna keep throwing people under there. Jessica Tarlov. I put together some of Trump's latest cognitive beauties from the last 10 days.
Remember when Biden said, I'm going to go take a nap or it's late? And Peter said that he was working into the wee hours of the night. He said he's held a complete schedule. And our perception around the world, by the way, is up since Biden came into the presidency.
Based on what?
Based on what other world leaders and people in other countries think of America. But you said, okay, you don't need to watch him. Let's just hear what comes out of his mouth. and I put together some of Trump's latest cognitive beauties from the last 10 days. He said you need an ID to buy bread. Has anyone shown ID to get Wonder Bread lately? He said that he ran against Obama in 2016. He ran against Hillary Clinton. He warned that Biden will get us into World War II, which I'm pretty sure we already fought and won. And yesterday, he confused Jeb Bush and George W. Bush and said that Jeb got us involved in the Middle East. And then, of course, there are his authoritarian posts on Truth Social calling for the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to be executed and saying that he's going to investigate media companies that he doesn't like. You know, and can you imagine?
I don't know, Galvatron, because I would think that working there would be an absolutely horrible experience, but maybe they pay her very, very handsomely.
If Biden said, you know what, I'm going to look into that Fox News. They don't seem to like me over there.
This may be the choice that people have. Trump versus Biden. Laid bare here, Jesse.
At least Trump can say LL Cool J, Jessica.
Are you
in a prompter?
ID to buy bread.
Biden has to stay.
At least he can say LL Cool J.
Upright, and Trump has to stay out of prison. Think of how ridiculous that is. That is the most corrupt and low expectation situation where Joe Biden has to not fall flat on his face to have a shot at re-election. And he promised us he would get us back to normal. But all he's worried about is making himself look normal. He's not worried about inflation. It's not like, oh, if I could just get inflation down and rates.
Yeah. At least he can say LL Cool J. Yeah, nah, man. Working there honestly just really has to be, because they don't like each other. They don't like each other. There's no way they can. There's no way that those people can like each other. He said, boy. I don't remember your name. I'm just gonna call you boy. All right. Wall Street Journal editorial board slams Republicans for ignoring Trump's unhinged posts. What do they say? Some Republicans are feeling giddy these days because Mr. Biden is down in the polls, losing head to head even against Mr. Trump. But many voters may have forgotten that it was like what it was like to hear from and live with Mr. Trump day after day. As president, Mr. Biden gets more attention now, and Mr. Trump is ducking the GOP presidential debates. But if Mr. Trump is nominated again, his every word will get attention. That's the baggage Republicans will carry, and the reason Democrats think even Mr. Biden can win. Right, exactly. He been posting for longer than that. Because he was posting before he was even in office, posting crazy, wild, ridiculous things. Bill Maher and James Carville ruthlessly mocked Trump rally goers.
The day that they had the Lauren Boebert incident in Denver, Politico ran a story that she'd become a Washington insider. She was like trying to work in the system. And Washington loves the story that they're civilizing effect. And
man, when they send a redneck to Washington, they do not fuck around.
Don't you love when they go and interview these people at a Trump rally? I shouldn't. It's not a way that a human being should feel.
Right.
But there's some. It's amusing. Of course, they have somebody with, hey, like, Trump, grab my pussy, and you look at it, and ain't nobody in the world want to get within a mile of your pussy. Don't worry. Nobody's going to grab that. If they get through the fat wrinkle to get to it, they wouldn't even know.
I feel like the people who go to the rallies are the worst.
Yeah.
These are the people who, when you said before, some of them are deplorable. Yes, some of them are. I feel like those are the types if you're actually getting your ass out to go to a Trump rally, I mean, what? You don't have the grades to get into the tractor pull?
I love these when I see it on doing like some.
Yo, he does. He does. He do sound like Skeletor, country Southern Skeletor.
Somebody goes and they interview people.
Yeah,
I gotta admit, it gives me. I shouldn't do it. It's not. I do. You should never do it in my business. I actually feel superior to these people. Jeez, I'm pretty fucking stupid, but it's like
right. Whereas the obnoxious left feels superior to you.
But
just old guys chatting, old establishment centrists chatting.
Laugh at the obnoxious right. I find them humorous.
Oh, I find them both humorous.
Obnoxious left, they believe that they actually want Trump to win re-election because they've always believed, the German communists would march in the streets of Berlin and to say, the worse, the better. After Hitler, us. And the left, if you read these really left-wing things, they believe that there are sleeper cells all around the country, and once they're exposed to the real thing, to real distribution and state ownership, they're going to rise up, and working people are going to seize the proletariat.
Oh.
Okay. That was an unnecessary video for us to watch, but we watched it anyway. And they ended up saying many of the things that we knew that they would end up saying. You know what I mean? But let's do this. He said Carville hates. Oh yeah, he do. He definitely hates progressives even more. But yes, he definitely sounds like country Southern Skeletor. You know what I'm saying? But listen, we had a wonderful stream today, a long stream today. We went for over 2 hours today, and it is Queen Fritza's birthday. And I other than just being a little tired, I didn't start my day off too well, but it's going good now. I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I really do. Y'all keep me encouraged and you keep me going. And we're growing. You know what I'm saying? We are growing. We're not stagnant. We're getting things done. And we're going to keep getting things done. But again, a very, very, very warm, loving, prosperous, happy birthday to Fritza. You are truly appreciated and adored. Now, I got to get some food in my stomach. I got a phone call to make in 30 minutes. And tonight we're going to be on with Lock Talk. We're going to have another episode of Lock Talk. It's going to be a great discussion. We're going to be talking about humility. We're going to be talking about learning and growing and changing. That's what we're going to talk about. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So join us this evening. I'll put up a timer so y'all can see it whenever we go on. And thank you to everybody who has become a member. We'll have our first member meeting on Sunday, October 8th. I put up a call to action in the membership section just to get y'all schedules, and it's probably looking like it's going to be Sunday evenings is when we'll have them. The membership section is centered around community service and local community political action. But yes, indeed, we are growing. We're growing together, and we're making a difference, man. I'm really excited about this. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up together. All right. About to take a little break, and then I'm going to get back to work. Thank you to each and every one of y'all. I love and appreciate you, and I will see you later on.